All right. What's up, y'all? My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company. Today is the 21st of June, 2026. This is a video under our main side, one of the 4 sides to In the Image Clothing Company, where our slogan is allowing the body to work. Why are we a clothing company? What does it mean to be a human being? Clothing is the only thing physically placed on our physical bodies. Our physical bodies are just this mechanical machine placed onto this rock in space that is our Earth. There truly is only one way the human body could ever work, determined by the shape and length of our own individual bones, and there's a neutral position to every function the human being has throughout the entire body. So, clothing, hats, pants, gloves, shoes, socks, undergarments, tops. You just have like a bag over your shoulder, maybe, and you're clothing your body with anything, the literal word. In the Holy Bible, it says God clothes the fields with grass. Our bodies are designed in the image of God. In the image of Jesus Christ, we're a clothing company, just to not alter the body. At very baseline, clothing needs to at least stay centered, fit correct, with things like joints of material of clothing meshing with joints of body parts, and be made in all the ways we can from 100% natural materials. It's a universal law that matter cannot be created or destroyed. Anything unnatural just comes from natural. Okay, our bodies are only natural. We're only what we've eaten. Things taken from the earth become the human being. But there truly is only one way the human body could ever work, despite what anyone ever wants to say. There's always a neutral position. The musculature of the human being pulls on either side of the neutral position, and we stabilize in the center or neutral position. The shoulders, the wrists, the ankles, the hips, everything in the body. We discussed the anatomy of the human body in depth as one of the many things we do here in the Image Clothing Company, specifically here under our main side. We give a lot of free modifications in clothing because in modern 2026, if you will, today's the 21st of June, there are a lot of clothing imbalances shipped across the entire earth in ways that could have never possibly happened in the past because now we have technology to do that. So, our bodies get into imbalances. We live in this 85%, maybe even 90%, give or take, right-handed world across the planet. There's 2 sides to our bodies, though. And there's a vertical pull to gravity. With a horizontal surface to the earth, this is a 90-degree right angle, a perpendicular angle. There truly is only one way the human being could ever work. There's a center line to our bodies, the sternum, the spine, the trachea, the nose, and our jaw. The jaw naturally stabilizing the entire body throughout, with musculature from the lower jawbone up to the crown of our head, down to some of these upper ribs, and out to the edges of our shoulders, and it goes through the collars of our tops. We are a clothing company. Things like keeping collars centered and the importance of snug collars are huge. Okay? So, a lot of free modifications in how we approach our lives, if you will. Living in this modern man-made world placed onto God's natural earth. There's a lot of things that don't mess with our bodies. We have different length 4 fingers that wrap evenly around our different length opposable thumb that plays an entirely different function than the fingers do. We have different length 5 toes within this universal human design that we roll evenly off the ends of to share the weight, and they grip the ground. Our feet grip arches inward, opposing the center line of the human being, and that's what keeps us vertical on Earth's vertical gravity pull. Although our feet have to grip textured earth. We've got a lot of things like man-made slippery and flat, unnatural flooring that don't allow our feet to work. The flooring doesn't allow our feet to work. Things don't allow our hands to work. Let me tell you the title of this video on the 21st of June, 2026, because this is In the Image Clothing Company. Our main site here specifically, one of our forwards, is a lot of these things. But how you could approach squats naturally is this video's title on the 21st of June 2026 under In the Image Clothing Company's main side. Now, squatting is a very natural thing. But when it comes to workouts, doing things for a time, let me explain this. This is one of those videos that has kind of two sides to it, because we've got videos under In the Image Clothing Company titled things like how you could approach pull-ups naturally, how you could approach push-ups naturally, and then just more of a generalized video currently under In the Image Clothing Company's main site titled how you could approach workouts naturally. This video is different because squatting is extremely natural. This is just the farthest down range of motion that our legs have. All the way bent at the knees, and we're bent in a deep range of motion at the ankles, and we're bent in a deep range of motion at the hips. This is extremely natural. The human being has a full range to all its motion, and there's nothing you can ever do to gain more of it, and it can never go away other than getting into chronic patterning where some of our full range of motion is limited. So the human being has muscles that connect to the bones through tendons. The muscles pull to close a hinge joint. We have opposing muscles that pull to extend a hinged joint. So we don't push, we only pull musculature together to move as a human being, but it can extend hinges. So all the body is measurable mathematical degrees of hinges, levers, and rotations. The human being truly is just a mechanical machine placed onto this rock in space that is our Earth. We just abide by universal laws that are outside of all of us, like gravity. And we can't decide or change truth as human beings, and the truth is there's only one way the human body could ever possibly work. It's determined by the shape and length of our own individual bones. They connect to each other directly through ligaments, and there's a thin layer of cushioning called cartilage between the bones that allows them to not wear each other out, but they have to mesh basically exactly together. So that's where these neutral positions come in the body. The body always has neutral positions to all of its functioning, and that's how it just works, without bones hitting into each other and muscles binding up or twisting. So anyway, there's a lot happening in the human being, but in all truth, every possible opinion aside, there is only one way the human being could ever possibly physically, mechanically operate. It's just a mechanical machine. The entire body works activated as a whole, and it all resides in its neutral positions all the time. Okay. Why this video is different, though, about squatting specifically versus any other thing we could discuss under In the Image Clothing Company on how you could choose to do some workout positioning, is squatting by itself is a natural position. It's a natural motion. It's a natural thing. If we're standing up and we just need to get down to the ground, we can squat down, and here you are at the ground, and then you can stand back up. And it's a very natural thing. It's entirely natural. It's actually extremely healthy to be able to have all the full range of motion that just always remains in your body be able to be fully used. Because we go all the way down to where the heel of our foot touches the bottom of our pelvis. In a squat, that's how far down we go, and we can actually just rest here as long as the body's not altered or restricted or within chronic patterning. So this video is a different one because there's two sides to squats. The side of it where it's entirely normal to be able to just squat down to the ground, all the way down in your full range of motion. But there's the other side to squats where we could choose to do repetitions within this squatting motion to gain muscle size or to gain muscle strength. Now, the human being always has a normal. We all have our own individual normals as human beings. The Body temperature is always 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and it just gets regulated. God regulates the human being for us. We have a normal amount of fat content versus muscle mass to have a healthy balance individually. A normal amount of lubrication in the body we call hydration or water versus fuel in the body we call food. And we have a normal heart rate, the amount the heart beats per minute, and a normal respiratory rate, the amount the lungs breathe per minute. There's always a normal in the human being. And so that's why this series is here under In the Image Clothing Company's main side, how you could, okay, in this case, how you could approach squats naturally. Because if you did want to start to do squats repeatedly, to gain muscle size or to gain muscle strength, which are two separate things in the ways that they are, we have to understand if we choose to do an excessive amount of working of our bodies for a time, we can gain excessive size in our muscle or excessive strength, but it will always go back to our own individual normal once we stop excessively trying to gain muscle, size, or strength. So that's why it's how you could, if you choose to, approach squats naturally. How you could approach squats naturally, the 21st of June, 2026, under In the Image Clothing Company's main side, spoken by me, Evan Strong, the founder and leader for life of In the Image Clothing Company. Here you go. So we have to remember the human body always has a neutral position. We have to remember squatting's a natural thing to begin with. And so how does this happen? How does a normal squat happen? Well, below our hips, we have 2 feet, evenly opposing the center line of the body, as I discussed a few minutes ago, gripping arches inward to keep us vertical on Earth's vertical gravity pull. Now, the top of the upper legs are going to be directly above the bottom of the feet, or the heels of the feet, just like this right here. This is the distance we'd be at in a squat to do it natural. Now, the upper leg bones, as they come up and into the hips, they come up and they come inward a little bit to the center line of the body. That's just the way the top of the bone of the upper leg bone, called the femur, is shaped. There's this ball, the femoral head, that meets into the acetabulum of the hip. It's a ball and socket joint that allows motion of the entire leg, okay, from the hips down to the feet. So you can only adduct or abduct from a neutral. We have to start with our feet even distances apart at the heels from our hips at the top of the upper leg bones. From here, we can pull the legs in, adduction, or pull the legs out, abduction. Pull the legs in, adduction, or pull the legs out, abduction. But adduction versus abduction can only possibly happen if you start from a neutral position, because it meshes with Earth's vertical gravity pull. It's the neutral. So, the spacing, that's one of the biggest points. The feet at the heels, evenly spaced apart from the top of the upper leg bones meeting into the hips. Now, we've got 5 different length toes within the universal human design. If your body's different, your body's different. But there is a universal human design. We have to get as close as we can to in daily life, as every human that exists, to function, because of things like just there being 2 sides of even opposing musculature from the center line of the human being at the spine, which is bone, and the rib bones wrapping around either side, left and right of the body, and then this meshing with Earth's vertical gravity pull. It takes the entire body to stabilize to some degree every breath we take. And there's a lot going on here. It's things that are outside of our bodies, these universal laws that we have to mesh our bodies with. So these different length 5 toes we roll evenly off the ends of, and the neutral for the foot is straight forward from the pinky toe. Just like the neutral for the forearm is straight out the outside of the pinky finger, and then the wrist can come up or go down. Straight out the pinky toes, the foot can rotate internal or external. Okay, so we point straight forward from the pinky toes. We roll evenly off the ends of our different length 5 toes, just as we stand or walk or do anything in life as a human being, just to share the weight. That's why we have 5 toes, and they are different lengths. So, just as we have those different length 4 fingers, right? Now, there's only one way the human body could ever possibly work, but these are the kind of things that people miss if they do, when they're trying to understand why the human being isn't working. So, when we squat, we will have our heels of our feet an even distance apart from the hips, straight down with Earth's vertical gravity pull. We will have our feet pointing straight forward, straight off the ends of those different length 5 toes. And now at this point, essentially, you can just drop down from standing, which you'd be in the same position, to squatting, because you're in your neutral from adduction or abduction, from internal rotation or external rotation, and that's about it. So you can just go from standing to squatting. And that's normal, neutral, natural. Okay? Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. There's no really how-to when it comes to a motion that's entirely just a normal function for the human being with it in its neutral positions. But this video specific with how you could approach squats naturally under In The Image Clothing Company's main site on the 21st of June, 2026. What this video really is about is if you're going to do this as a workout, if you will, to gain muscle mass or muscle size. Now, you could just do that, a regular squat, down and up and down and up and down and up, and just do it repetitively. But if you were to add weight, how would you do this without altering your body's only workings? There's no opinion to it. There's only one workings to the human being. There's only one position to the human being. It's its neutral positions in everything in the entire body. So if we add weight to the body, so we strain the musculature more, this excessive working of our muscles to gain excessive muscle size or strength, we just cannot change our center of gravity. If we change our center of gravity, we change the human being's position to stabilize over Earth's vertical gravity pull. So, how you could approach squats naturally. This video, under In The Image Clothing Company's main site on the 21st of June, 2026, spoken by me, Evan Strong, the founder of In The Image Clothing Company. Really, the only way you would be doing this and not altering the body's positioning or the way it's stabilizing itself, while just going all the way down and all the way up in your full range of motion, your ankles, knees, and hips, through your spine, up to your head, through your jaw, stabilizing your entire body and keeping your shoulders neutral, out to your fingertips. All of this being unaltered, really all you would be able to actually do taken with a grain of salt, but yes, is put weight in your hands. Keep your hands at a neutral grip from internal rotation or external rotation, just this neutral, how our arms track forward and back when we hang them down at our sides with Earth's vertical gravity pull, just pulling the pendulum of the hand down from the other end of the shoulder. The thumbs point forward when the arms are straight. We bend the forearms at the elbow and the thumbs point up. This is our neutral position from internal rotation or external rotation. So we would grab some weight in this neutral position with our thumbs pointing straight forward, have our arms hang straight down at our sides, and we would do a squat down and up with weight in our hands. It would look like this. But you notice, you try to get down into the deepest range of motion, the fullest, most complete natural range of motion your body has, and your hands have nowhere to go. You hit your hands onto the ground if your arms aren't bent at your elbows. So you could hold weight in front of you, in between your hands with your elbows bent, and you could do a squat, still in a neutral grip with your thumbs pointing forward, but grasping something in the center of your body right here. And you could do it like that. But you've changed your center of gravity. A lot of times people will have a bar that they put up on the back of their shoulders, and they do squats like this. Although you're in an internally rotated position with your hands, which you cannot stand or walk in without your thumbs hitting your own sides. And this is not anywhere near a normal position for your shoulders in daily life, if nothing else, just because Earth's gravity pulls us into our neutral position and into what we could call good posture. There truly is only one way the human being could ever possibly work, and this is not it at the upper body doing a squat with the lower body, and then you'll have binding through your whole body, bones hitting into bones, musculature getting pinched between bones, because you're clear up here in external rotation at your shoulders, but you're in internal rotation at your hands. You've got something behind your shoulders that puts your cervical spine or your neck forward if you're trying to have a bar up on your shoulders doing squats. It's extremely unnatural for the only way the bones of the human being connect. Okay, gravity. I mean, that's the big point, is gravity. So, if you do choose to put weight in your hands, on your sides, in a neutral grip, you can't get to a full, deep range of motion because your hands will hit the ground. If you choose to put something up above your shoulders, you've got differences in rotation of your shoulders, and you are changing the position of your shoulders to be just about all the way back behind you, changing the natural curve in the spine to have your neck out of the way of the bar, and that is extremely unnatural as well. So, what's left? Maybe you put a backpack on or some weight on your back that's actually strapped to you, or even weight front to back on your torso. Now you're changing the way that your rib cage expands and contracts in 360 degrees. meaning all the way around in every single breath we take as a human being, which it takes the entire body to some degree to stabilize. So you're changing the way your body can even stabilize itself over Earth's vertical gravity pull, and your squats will be altered from the only way your bones connect and the only natural full range to all the motion in the human being. Truth is truth. As I say, as the founder and leader for life of In the Image Clothing Company, me, Evan Strong, don't believe me. Don't believe our team members under In the Image Clothing Company with any of our information, even any of our poodles, because truth is truth. And this is the truth, is Earth's vertical gravity pull never changes, and our bodies have an even mathematical opposing bend from bottom to top. The ankles go backward, the knees bend forward, the hips bend backward, the low back bends forward, the mid back bends backward, and the upper back, this cervical spine, that's just the neck, bends forward. Any weight we place onto the body, more in the front or more in the rear, will change our body's center of gravity. Any weight you place onto your body evenly, front to back, maybe strapping onto your torso, as we addressed, you'll change the way you breathe, and that's changing the entire body. So, there's only one way the human body could ever possibly work. Really, without getting extremely creative and seeing what else we could possibly do, probably just about the only answer, and really just the natural answer to this, and it's kind of just the obvious answer when we take anything else away, to the video's title here, how you could approach squats naturally. Well, just do a squat. And just do it again and again and again and again with just the weight of your body. That's just about the only way we could answer this, because there's a neutral to the bottom of the feet from dorsiflexion or plantar flexion, lifting the toes or pointing the toes. And what does that mesh with? The horizontal surface of the planet Earth. The term zero drop in any brand of shoe. And so if you're first starting within any kind of elevated heel on your foot whatsoever, you're in a constant state of plantar flexion or pointing of the toes, and this changes everything throughout. The natural bend in the knee, the natural curve in the spine, and the entire body up through the jaw, stabilizing every part of the human being and out to the fingertips. So there's really no answer on how you could do weighted squats in a way that won't alter your body's workings. You can pick up some weight in whatever way you could choose to hold it and squat to the degree that you can before your hands hit the ground and you limit your range of motion and your knee bend and your hips and ankles bend. Or you can put weight on your body some way, trying to do all you can to not change your center of gravity. But no matter what, there's always a neutral position to the human being, and it always meshes with the vertical pull to our gravity on our planet Earth that God made for us, that then He made us and placed us onto. So, In the Image Clothing Company, there you go, there's your answer. Just do a regular body weight squat. You don't need to be stronger than you need to be unless you're trying to have some strength competition. But even then, there's only one way the bones connect in the human being, and they can only work how they do. Musculature connects directly to those bones and only pulls directly in line. Otherwise, things just don't work. And everything's bound up on an angle. There truly is only one way the human being could ever possibly work. It's in its neutral positions, and that's determined by physics, universal laws that are outside of all of us. And so there's no opinion to workouts. There's how does the human being work, and that's it. So, under In the Image Clothing Company, we give a lot of free modifications in clothing to not alter the body, because we alter the body. Things like oversized clothing when we don't have joints of material of clothing meshing with joints of body parts. zippers, buttons, pockets, rotated seams, collar seams, anything in between.